Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Ramco Cements Limited Q3 FY21 post-results conference call, hosted by Batliwala and Karani Securities India Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Amit Srivastava from Batliwala and Karani Securities India Private Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. On behalf of B&K Securities, we would like to welcome you all to the conference call with the management of Ramco Cement. Management is represented by Mr. P.R. Venkatrama, Chairman, Mr. Abhinav Raja, Director of Ramco Group, Mr. A.V. Dhammakrishnan, CEO, and Mr. S. Vaidyanathan, CFO. I would like to thank the management for giving us the opportunity to organize the earnings call. I'll hand over the call to management for opening remarks, which will be followed by Q&A. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Good evening. I'm Venkatrama Raja speaking. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you for our first earnings call of Ramco Cements, discuss the Q3 results of financial year 21. And I hope all of you are safe and healthy. I also hope all of you would have seen the results by now. I'd just like to talk about the sales and the capacity utilization as a first point. Despite the pandemic, Ramco Cements has performed well the last 2 quarters. And the current quarter, that's the third quarter performance, has also been quite good. The cement capacity utilization for the current quarter is 83% based on clinker capacity. And the sale of cement for the company for the current quarter is 2.61 million tons as against 2.84 million tons with a degrowth of 8%. However, the net revenue for the quarter has increased by 5% compared to the corresponding previous quarter. The sales volume in the current quarter is impacted due to the extended and above normal monsoon in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. The company has registered good growth in the eastern markets, and the cement prices were constantly under pressure across all its markets during the current quarter. EBITDA for the quarter ended 31/12/2020 is rupees 403.34 crores as against 211.32 crores during the previous corresponding period, with an increase of 91% thanks to the increased margin. Blended EBITDA per ton for the quarter ended 31/12/2020 is rupees 1543 as against 743 during the previous corresponding period. I'm happy to share that we have consistently delivered the quarterly EBITDA crossing rupees 400 crores consecutively in the last 2 quarters, which are the best quarterly EBITDA in the history of the company. Cost. The power and fuel cost for the current quarter is comparatively low, mainly due to higher inventory base procured at a relatively lower cost in the earlier quarters. This has benefited the company to keep a check on all overall cost of energy, while the market prices of pet coke and coal have witnessed sharp increase during this quarter. Besides, the operations of our first waste heat recovery plant of 9 megawatts has started production in Jayantipuram and has helped manage the power costs, keeping it under control for this quarter. The CapEx, the 9 megawatt WHRS in Jayantipuram has started production, and the balance 9 megawatts of WHRS is ready for commissioning along with the new clinkering line by the first quarter of the coming year. This will be 2021-22. We expect to commission the clinkering unit of the Jayantipuram plant also in the first quarter of of 2021 again, 2021-22, with a manufacturing clinker capacity of 2.25 million tons. The 1 million ton grinding capacity, the facility of 12 megawatts WHRS and 18 megawatt WHR of TPP in Kurnool are expected to be commissioned in 2021-22 during that financial year. During the 9 months period of 31/12/2020, the company has incurred a capital expenditure of 1,166 crores, including the above mentioned ongoing capacity and expansion. The balance capex to be incurred in the coming year as on 31/12/2020 is 537 crores for the ongoing capacity expansion. The company's gross debt as on 31/12/2020 is 3,000 crores, 3,106 crores, out of which 234 crores are soft interest-free debt. During the current quarter, the average cost of interest borrowing is reduced to 6.14% from 3.24%. From 7.24% compared to the previous corresponding period, resulting in overall reduction in financial costs. Budget impact. I see the demand for cement is coming back strongly across the country. Prior to the budget will have a lot of positives for the cement industry. The increased government spending on infrastructure will have a good multiplier effect, as will create demand in various cement products. The focus on infrastructure, road developments and affordable housing will boost demand for cement and is going to propel good job creation. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. The first question is from the line of Dhaval Joshi from Sundaram Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Good evening, and congratulations for a decent set of numbers in challenging environment. Sir, a couple of questions from my side. So, though you have said that budget plus current demand has been now up, now reversing versus what we have seen last 3 quarters of declining. So what's your expectations for FY22 volume growth, given the bit delay, I would say, in our capacity additions by a quarter?
I will ask our CEO to answer that question.
Our clinker capacity, new clinker capacity in Jayantipuram, we hopefully will commission by end of March. And beginning of April, definitely we'll have clinker available from the Jayantipuram. And our clinker facility in Kurnool, they'd like to be commissioned by April end or May 1st week. Once both the clinkers, today, as on today, we are running almost 90% capacity utilization. Once the clinker facility is available, definitely lot of demand is coming up, and definitely our growth will be much more than the industry.
Okay. Can we fairly assume the volume should be a couple of million tons higher compared to FY20?
Yeah, definitely.
Fine, sir.
You can see the full effect from maybe the second quarter of next financial year.
Got it. Got it. And sir, we have seen, super cost control over the last, 2-3 quarters back to back. But given the, petcoke and, diesel price increase and coal price increase, are we seeing any sort of meaningful increase in the cost going forward in ensuing quarters, at least for next couple of quarters, sir?
So at least till April, May, we have sufficient inventories to take care of the cost. Beyond May, we have our hunch feeling says definitely the prices, fuel prices can't sustain this, definitely will come down.
Right.
We have also taken enough measures to control the cost, to reduce the fuel consumption, and our WHRS also will be commissioned. Second WHRS is already in the trial run. That will be commissioned in the 10 days time. And the third WHRS will be commissioned during first quarter of 21-22 in Jayanthipuram. Those things also will reduce our cost.
Right.
So definitely under powered fuel, we are having a very watchful eye. Definitely we are making all our efforts to control the cost.
All right. Fine, sir. Fine. Thanks, sir. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, just wanted to inform you the audio is not clear, sir, from your line.
Okay, we'll talk little louder. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next question is from the line of Pratik Kumar from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, sir, and thanks for keeping the call. My first question is on your volume growth. So how would we have mentioned in our press release that we had a good growth in East. Like understanding the 8% growth, so how would have our market mix changed and how would the growth be different in East and Southern market in this quarter?
So market mix is not changed. Market mix is same of whatever we maintained previously. So even though I can't give the exact numbers, definitely market mix will be favorably to us because the South market will also grow. So not necessarily we should depend only on Eastern market for growth. Even South market also will be growing.
No, sir, I'm asking about Q3, not for future. For Q3.
Q3 also, I'm telling Q3 also we've grown whatever the growth in the previous quarters only we have done that. There is no significant increase in the Eastern markets. Even in our traditional markets also, there is a decent growth.
And sir, how would be our premium segment mix in trade sales, which like went up to high teens in last quarter?
Sorry?
Premium segment sales, which we highlighted in our last quarter results, that has done very well and probably gone to high teens kind of mix in trade sales.
It is around 35%, and we want to take up to 50%.
It has went to 35% of our sales now. That's what you said.
Yeah, including RSC, RSF, and all these together, it will be around 35%. We want to take it up to 50%.
Sure. This 35% comparable number in 2Q was how much, sir?
Last year Q2, because we introduced only later part of this one, is not comparable because last year, whole year, we have not marketed all those cement because the premium segment cement was introduced only later part of the year.
Sure, sir. I'll get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ujjwal Shah from Quest Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for taking my question, sir. So just wanted your idea about furthering into the markets now that Kurnool plant will also be commissioning soon. So we had plans of spreading across to Maharashtra as well as going deep into Karnataka by setting up grinding units. So any concrete plan that we have done over there? Can you throw some light on it, sir?
So definitely we are zeroized on one or two sites. Like I can't tell you the exact site now because we are ready to disclose to the board also to start the change. Once it is announced, then will be announced publicly. But definitely into Karnataka, definitely we'll be going for a grinding unit. And Andhra Pradesh also will be going for a grinding unit. The both grinding units, the places, Andhra Pradesh grinding unit place is already identified and we purchased the necessary land. In Karnataka, we identify 1 or 2 lands, and we will be zeroizing a land within a month's time. Maharashtra will be fed only from the either from the Kurnool plant or Jainipur plant as of now.
Okay, great, sir. And sir, in terms of realizations in Eastern market, what do you expect going forward? We had heard that the realizations were very weak some portion of the time, and the competition itself is quite strong, especially in Orissa. So are we seeing realizations improving, and now that our facility or grinding unit is already in Orissa, what advantages are we seeing by being present there, especially on institutional or government orders that we were eyeing? Thanks.
See, the orders are definitely very encouraging, but unfortunately, since our clinker production is not on, we are not able to get full advantage of the commissioning of our grinding units. Once our clinker production from Jainipuram and Kurnool comes in, definitely whatever advantages we have claimed in the earlier meetings of reduction in raw material cost, increase in realization, all these things will happen once I start full production from the grinding units.
Okay, sir. And have realizations started improving in East?
Yeah, definitely realizations started improving in the Odisha.
Okay, sir. And sir, last bookkeeping question. So our clinker capacity as of now is 9 million ton or 10.5 million tons, sir?
9 million tons. As of today, today is 9 million tons.
Okay, fine, sir. Thanks a lot. I'll jump back in the queue.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nitin Arora from Axis Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Sorry, sir, for asking again this question. For I understand when we got an EBITDA per ton of 18 or 1900 rupee per ton last quarter, you were very confident you want to maintain this, and there is no anomaly, there is no one-off, there is no discounts written back. Now this quarter you come back to 1508 rupees per ton, and quarter on quarter you are growing 18% and losing 8% realization, and you're saying there is no change in mix. Then what has led to this 8% decline in realization, sir? If you can throw some light.
Prices are under pressure. That also we qualified in our press report. You might have seen. Southern prices and the eastern prices both are under pressure.
And how we should look at directionally now, EBITDA per ton? Why I'm asking this because we used to be in 1200-1300, we reached 1800, and you said there's no one-off in that. Now obviously the pricing would have come under pressure, which took you down to 1500. So now if you want to grow on volumes, and considering you're not getting impacted because of mix, how, sir, directionally we should look this number considering the kind of cost increase has come?
No, we want to grow. Even the market will also grow. Definitely, after this budget, we will have to build up given the infrastructure projects. Definitely, demand is very good, and to the extent the new capacity has not come up. See, the prices definitely will stabilize in the short run, and the long run definitely will be good. And also, we are making efforts. I told you that whenever we go for the grinding units in full swing, definitely whatever cost advantages, also realization advantages, what we explained the earlier meetings, that we will approve to the company. With that, we are confident that we can maintain the realization.
Okay.
EBITDA. Whatever EBITDA, whatever 1900, see, definitely we achieved that. There is no question of any one-off or anything. 100% we accounted properly. See, whatever the price increase also you have to take into account. Afterwards, there was a third quarter, there was monsoon in all our marketing areas. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. Also in eastern market, we also had extended monsoon and also above normal monsoon. So that had its own effect. And first quarter, second quarter, we had wind power income of 30 crores, which was not available in that quarter.
Okay. So why
we talked about blended. That is why we used to say blended EBITDA.
Absolutely. No, so why I was asking this because south we kept on hearing the prices is still not cooling off. East is something which was cooled off. So the decline was so much. That's why as an investor I was asking that why so much decline in prices. has happened when other companies have not shown that much decline. But got your point. That's clear. Second thing, sir, on the balance sheet, can you tell us how the working capital and debt has moved, especially the net debt? Because we have seen gross debt increasing quarter on quarter. So if you can throw some light on that, that's my last question. Thank you.
See, the quarter-on-quarter debt might have gone up, but if you see the compared to last year, as on today, the debt has gone up only by 80 crores. I am expecting one big payment from the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board for the windmill, around 75 crores. They promised to release next week. If I get the money, definitely we are confident we get the money before March. If that money we get, definitely we will not. The net borrowing will not go up. Net borrowing will be either at par or it will be lower than last year.
Thank you very much, sir, and all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amit from Motilal Oswal. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening. So my first question is around the new capacity, the clinker unit. Now that they start in 1Q FY22, which will be just before monsoons. So how would be the ramp-up kind of schedule roughly in these units once they start?
See, the ramp-up of demand you are asking, or ramp-up of our supply you are asking?
The ramp-up of the new clinker units I'm asking, because these will be starting just before
monsoon and commission. Project definitely will establish within a month's time. Normally, our engineering team and is so well managing that definitely we establish the plant within a month's time.
Okay. But will you be able to guide on some utilization levels, let's say by end of March FY22 or March 22, what kind of utilizations can these new units achieve?
So again, depends upon the market growth. Definitely, that is why I told you, definitely we will outgrow the market.
Okay.
That promise definitely I can give you.
Sure. And the focus would largely be again eastern markets, right? Because the new.
Not necessarily. That is why I told you now that southern market is also growing. You might have seen this budget. They have given a lot of infrastructure projects. Trust has been given on southern areas. Definitely, the growth in southern market will also go up.
Okay. And on the petcoke inventory, you mentioned that you have till April, May. So at what cost this inventory will be? Like, will it be at a $75 cost, or will it be at a higher, let's say?
No, I can't give the exact number. Don't ask me the exact number.
Okay.
Much lower than the market price there, definitely I can tell you. And not necessarily petcoke, also coal, both together.
Right. Okay. But you will have, let's say, you will have inventory till April, May is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. And last question is on the ads and sales spends. Like in FY20, it was quite a high number for you, which you have cut down post-COVID, and rightly so. Will in FY22, will we see a kind of a normalization, or like, let's say, what will be the run rate in FY22 on that front?
FY22 will be a growth year. Not necessarily normalization year, it will be a growth year.
But I guess the focus will be back on these promotional spends and dealer engagement programs and all that again.
That will happen. Definitely, see, it may not be necessary to the level of 1920, but definitely much higher than 2021.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Tejas Pradhan from Citigroup. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Firstly, I missed the clinker utilization level for this quarter. Could you share that again?
This around 90%.
90%?
Yeah.
Okay. And secondly, a couple of data questions actually. What was your lead distance in third quarter versus in second quarter? And also, if you could give the consumption cost of petcoke and share of waste heat recovery in third quarter.
No, the waste heat recovery is we commissioned only 9 megawatt in the Jayantipuram plant. Another 18 megawatt will be coming in the coming quarter. Another 9 megawatt is on the tail run. Maybe third 9 megawatt will be coming in the first quarter of the 2021-22. And the waste heat recovery in Kurnool will also will be commissioned along with this, maybe 1 month after the project after the plant is commissioned. So that is the waste heat recovery the details. Sorry, then you are asking about lead distance. The lead distance is around 350 kilometers.
350, and this was
Average is
similar in the
350
second quarter?
350.
In the second quarter, this was similar?
Second quarter, just 1 second.
Hello?
Oh, just one second.
Yeah.
Second quarter, it is around 300 kilometers.
Sorry, I couldn't understand.
300 kilometers.
300 kilometers. Okay. And just lastly, what was the consumption cost of petcoke in the third quarter for you?
No, even to arrive at the fuel cost. We are only single plant. We are only single product company. See, our fuel cost is definitely compared to last year, it has come down. 1 second, I'll give you the fuel cost. Yeah. It's around $80.
$80. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jitin from Jefferies. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So my question was on the capacities. What is the current integrated capacity and the satellite units, the split between the two?
Yeah, as on today, the integrated cement capacity is around 12 million tons, and the satellite capacity is around 8 million tons. 8. See, totally it will be around 20 million tons is our cement grinding capacity. But based on our clinker, as on today, we can manufacture only 12 million tons. So after the expansion, it will go up to 20 million tons.
Up to 14 million tons. Okay,
20.
Sorry, sir.
20.
After the expansion.
See, after both Jayanthapuram expansion as well as Kurnool expansion, my total grinding capacity as well as the total cement that can be produced out of our clinker will be 20 million tons.
Okay. So earlier there was a guidance that the company will get to 20 million tons by 2020. Of course, COVID has delayed the plans. So, do you have any other medium-term guidance of where do you want to take the capacities to?
I told you now that by April, May, all the capacity will be in place. Already we completed all our grinding plans. What is pending is clinkerization unit from Jayanthapuram and the Kurnool. That is delayed because of the COVID. Definitely by March end, our Jayanthapuram will be commissioned. By April, May, our Kurnool will be commissioned.
Okay. Then by that time, you will have the 20 million ton of clinker back grinding capacity.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bharat Sheth from Quest Investment. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks, sir, for the opportunity. Sir, I have a question for what is our mix of trade and non-trade in Q3?
90% is trade, 10% is non-trade.
And going ahead, how do we see with the infra demand and which with additional capacity we have to sell more for infra immediately to ramp up the sales of the ramping up the production?
No, there is a lot of infra projects also there. Inquiries coming. As on today, we are restricted because of availability of the clinker. Once the clinker is available, definitely we are confident we can ramp up our dispatches to the infra projects also. See, our cement is well accepted in all segments of the market. And almost in all the central government and state government projects, our cement is also approved.
Okay. So do we think that because in non-trade margin is little lower, so that can going ahead have some kind of a cannibalization on the margin?
Not necessary, because we are having some special cement for the specific application. Definitely we can command a premium over other brands also. So with that, definitely we are confident that our non-trade prices may not be much discount to the trade price.
Okay. And can you just give some kind of a color how our core market in the market is growing, like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and East Bengal side and the Bengal side?
See, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, these 9 months is not comparable because first 6 months was affected by COVID. Even today, Kerala is affected by COVID. And then we had very extended monsoon followed by a lot of holidays. See, definitely this last quarter only normal days. This January, February only normal days. January our volume was very decent. We have done very well. And Bengal we are growing. Bengal, if we take up to January, we have grown. Even though we have degrowth in the first 6 months.
Okay. And Tamil Nadu?
Tamil Nadu trade we have grown.
Okay.
Overall volume there is some degrowth, but trade we have grown.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shantanu Mantri from MK Ventures. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Sir, just wanted to know what would be the capex for FY 2022 and 23? Like we'll be done with majority of the capex, I am assuming. So what would be the maintenance capex like?
See, on these projects, I have balance capex of around 730 crores. That will be done up to second quarter of the total will be spent till second quarter of 21-22. Then normal capex normally we have around 100 to 150 crores. But most of the normal capex has been done last 3-4 years. We have done heavy normal capex expenditures by way of modernization, by way of increase in the silos and all these things.
Sure.
So the coming years it may be less. Maybe around 50 to 60 crores.
Okay. All right. So, sir, in that case, so now, is it fair to assume, see, our debt figure is somewhere around 3,100. So, is this the top, like, the debt is peaked and very good deleveraging we can expect from next year, FY 22-23?
Yeah, definitely. You are right.
So, sir, I'm just doing back of the paper calculation. So, what I'm getting is easily we will be able to pay at least 800 to 1,000 crore debt in next year and probably similar amount in FY 23. Is that correct?
Yeah, you are right.
Are you all targeting something like that?
Yeah. We can do that.
Okay. And sir, do we have a plan, say, in the next 3 years, this 3,100 crores? Like we had also done this sometime earlier when we had gone for a capacity expansion and then, we almost paid our entire debt. So, is there an internal plan to completely, become debt-free, say, in the next 3 years?
See, debt-free is our dream, but also we should not lose the market opportunity.
Sure.
We will balance both.
Sure, but at least we can assume that next 2 years we will see significant deleveraging, right?
Definitely.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Girish Chaudhary from Spark Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening and thanks for taking my question. Firstly, it will be great if you could help us understand the ramp up from the newly commissioned grinding units over the last 6 to 8 months. Are they in line versus your expectations in terms of achieving the desired cost savings? Or are we seeing a decrease in freight and also maybe higher prices in the Odisha market? Be great to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I told you, even though our Bengal grinding unit was commissioned even 12 months back, Vizag grinding unit also commissioned. The Odisha grinding unit was commissioned only 4 months back. But we are not able to give the clinker to full extent. Once we started giving the clinker to full extent, then only whatever claim we made by way of cost reduction, raw materials, lead distance reduction, as well as the freight rationalization, then premiumness on our cement, all these things will come definitely during the first quarter of 21-22.
Okay. But any rough numbers on current utilization of those 3 million ton grinding?
You will be very intelligent to arrive at the number rather than me. Spark Capital is very, very intelligent to arrive at the number.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, sir. Sir, second, it pertains to your long-term strategy. With East expansion done and both the clinker units in South also towards the ending stages of completion, I mean, what next? Are you open to looking at newer regions like Central or West markets over a 2 to 3 years from now?
No, those Central and Western region depends upon whether we are able to get limestone reserves.
Any acquisition?
As of now, we have huge limestone reserves in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. If we are able to get any limestone reserves there, definitely we are open to go there.
Okay. Sir, last question, just a clarification on the fuel cost. You had mentioned that you have sufficient inventory till April and May. So that means the cost level will be similar what we saw in 3Q until...
Almost similar.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aditya Nahar from Alpna Enterprises. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. My questions have been answered. Just wanted to say thank you for conducting a con call, and I hope you continue every quarter.
Thank you. This is the first time we are conducting the con call. This will continue.
Great, sir. Thank you so much, and best of luck. Thank you, sir.
Because the con call I am conducting mainly because you people prepare reports today itself. So I don't want to. You need not have any wrong perception. And after that, after seeing the report, normally we react. So to avoid all these things, definitely we thought this is a con call every quarter end at the same day.
No, thank you, sir. And so please bear with us if we ever ask any stupid question in the future as well, sir.
No. That part you don't worry. We are accustomed to all these things.
Thank you, sir.
And definitely you people are very intelligent than us.
No. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shravan Shah from Dolat Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Thank you, and so appreciate that you call and also
Mr. Shah, sorry to interrupt you. The audio is breaking from your line, sir. Please check.
Is it fine, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I am saying that thanks that you kept the con call, and I hope, as you said, that you will continue every quarter the con call. That's a great thing. Sir, my first question is that the 1 million ton grinding at Kurnool, you said it would be there operational in FY22, but broadly, is it fair to assume that it would be operational by September 21, or it would be end of the March quarter?
No. By May, we definitely will commission our grinding clinker unit. By July, August, we will commission our cement grinding.
Okay. And sir, a couple of data points. First is in terms of the price difference between our premium products and the normal product. How much would be the per bag the difference would be?
25 to 30 rupees.
Okay. And the net debt, what is the cash or maybe a net debt as on December quarter?
Net debt is around 3,100 crores.
Oh, so only 100 crore is the cash?
Pardon me?
3,100 crore is the gross debt, so cash is only 100 crore.
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, this quarter we have seen that the employee cost has versus the second quarter, September quarter has declined by 10 odd crores. So was there any one-off, and how do we see?
No, there is no one-off. We were given some stock options that is also accounted. And we were given first the increments also we given it liberally because we are doing well.
Okay. And despite our gross debt increased by 190 odd crores increase, this quarter we have seen the finance cost has actually...
No. Gross debt has gone up only by 80 crores compared to last year, compared to last March.
Yeah.
Gross debt has gone up only by 80 crores.
Yeah. So I'm looking at from the September quarter to December, despite increase in the gross debt by 186 odd crores, the finance cost has actually declined by 10 odd crores to only 16 crores. So this run rate can we fair to assume the same run rate of 18 odd crores is a fair if we assume the same date definitely, as you said, that you would be looking at a reduction in significantly reduction in the debt by 800.
Yeah. Definitely, my working capital cost has got down less than 4%. That is carrying on. Even long-term debt cost also is brought down to around less than 6%. So, but there is some capitalization of interest on account of project. There is some capitalization of interest, and next year the full interest will come.
Okay. And lastly, sir, you have already said that you have acquired the land in AP for the future expansion. So broadly, once the expansion, the left one would be done by July, August, then the next expansion, when can we see the announcement from your side officially that the next phase of expansion would be there?
The market growth, even by end of June, July, also will announce expansion program. It all depends upon market growth now.
Okay, so that would be broadly on the grinding front, or both? It would be
both. It all depends on the qualifying. It all depends upon market growth. See, suppose whatever buoyancy we see in the last 6 months it continues, definitely my company will go for expansion.
Okay, thank you and all the best, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rishikesh Bhagat from Kotak AMC. Please go ahead.
Sir, just I understand in one of the earlier participants' question, you said the pending capex on the project was 780 crore. Is it right? Or right, because your press release mentions 537 crore. So just
530 crore. Sorry, you are right. Sorry, it's only 536 crore. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry. So 537 crore and then 100-200 crore of maintenance capex every year. That will be there. That's how
normally we spend 100 to 200 crores, but next year it will be less because already we spent a lot of money last 3-4 years.
Okay.
For example, today there was a board meeting. We have sanctioned only capex only 10 crores.
Okay.
That's 10 crores. Normally every quarter we used to bring some 50 to 60 crores. Since we have done a lot of capex in the last 3-4 years by way of modernization of the plant, by way of creating big silos, railway sidings, wagon tipper, all these things already we have done.
Sure. Just one another question from my end. If in our earlier interactions, I think despite the COVID challenges and also say heavy rainfalls in AP, Andhra Pradesh region, I think one thing we were fairly confident that the commissioning will be there probably in this fiscal. Now, this delay of, I understand it's not a major delay of 1 or 2 months, but we were fairly confident that March we will probably see the commissioning of clinker. So is it delay from the contractor side or is it something else? If you can throw some light, that will be helpful.
At this point of time, I don't want to blame anybody. There is a delay because if I say contractors this one, then contractors will not be demotivated. So today, definitely we are working very hard. We are also from our side also we are strengthening the manpower to commission the plant at JNTS. So there's no point. There's no pinpoint of delay on account of certain things. Delay is definitely on account of COVID.
Okay,
but our projects normally 100% our project will go on same on time. This is the first time our project is delayed because of COVID.
Okay.
Because of COVID.
Okay. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vivek Maheshwari from Jefferies. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, AVDN team.
Good evening, yeah.
Sir, over slightly longer term question for you. So let's say if you take a quite a long term view on
Vivek, you are breaking, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible now. Yeah.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible, Vivek.
Sure. I'm saying if you take long-term view, do you want to, foray into newer regions, like northern or western part of the country, either organically or inorganically?
Yeah, that is why organically means it all depends upon how we are going to get the mining leases. Inorganically, the opportunity comes, definitely we will evaluate.
So do you aspire to be let's say a national player, instead of just focusing on east and south, or rather south and east?
No, because we are geographically located and we have limestone in Tamil Nadu, and so Kerala is nearest state, So then we have huge limestone resources in Andhra Pradesh. So extension of the market is Orissa and Bengal. So we are in the east. And also logistically, we can move by ship because all our plants are nearby coastal. So you have to see the logistics cost also. Suppose if I go to Central India, North India, my transport cost of the clinker will be very high.
So that's what my question, sir, is that, do you want to, let's say, have limestone reserves in those areas? Do you want to build your own capacities, or you would rather have, bulk of your capacity centered around south and eastern part of the country?
No, as of now, see, definitely long term, definitely our interest is go to the north also. So definitely north and central also, we aspect to be definitely, if not 100% pan India player, definitely part of pan India, definitely we want to be there. So definitely we also try to see whether we can put up grinding units in different parts of the country so that we can transport at the cheaper rates. See, all these things we are evaluating.
Got it. Look forward for an update at some point of time. The other question, sorry if it is it's a slightly basic question, but Jayantipuram, you are putting up 27 megawatts of waste heat recovery, and Kurnool, I think, is 12. Is there any other, WHRS in the pipeline, or, in total, would it be like 39 megawatts, or how should we?
So what we have done in Tamil Nadu, unfortunately, our raw material is having moisture. So definitely we can't have the WHRS like what full-fledged WHRS we can't have. Little modified version of WHRS already we are implementing it. Already we implemented Naranagar because partial benefit. Similar this one we are doing in Alapur also.
So once everything commissions, how much would be the capacity?
See, that is why it is not. See, it is not going to increase the WHRS capacity, but definitely to reduce the fuel consumption in our power plants.
Okay, so 39 megawatt is where the WHRS capacity would be. The rest of the initiative will reduce the raw material cost.
We will reduce the fuel cost in our thermal plants.
Got it. Thank you, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Vivek.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Roshan from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good evening to the entire management. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, just one question. Has there been increase in our capex estimate in third quarter? And if yes, was it related to the maintenance capex or anything else?
No, it is in line with, there's no increase there's no escalation in any of my projects. All the projects are in line with our estimation only. In fact, there will be small savings in all the projects wherever we have completed in grinding units also.
All right. And just one more question. As you mentioned that the post-expansion WHR capacity would be 39 megawatts.
Yeah.
What is the estimated benefit out of this in terms of savings in the power and fuel cost?
The estimated benefit, it's also for the new capacity. Just one second, I will give you the numbers. Or 9 lakh into 3 So definitely our saving will be around 130 crores per annum.
130 crores per annum.
Yeah, you should also realize that about 20 megawatts will be for the new capacity.
Yeah. No, maybe, but if the WHRS goes full swing, definitely we'll have a saving of 130 crores per annum.
All right. Sure.
Based on whatever experience the first WHRS is completing to you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Our payback in WHRS is around 3.5 years.
Payback is 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. Yeah, thanks. This answers my question.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Navin Sahadeo from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, your line.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good evening and congrats on good set of numbers. So, couple of questions. First is I think initial comments you said clinker utilization for the quarter stood at about 83% and currently it is about 90%. So does that mean that for Q4 quarter as a whole, we are unlikely to see growth on a year-on-year basis? Or let me put the question the other way, that since demand, as you said, is coming back strongly, we might see a positive growth in Q4 quarter looking at the current utilization. How should we look at it?
No, last year our fourth quarter clinker utilization was 83%. So this year I was telling 90%, then definitely there will be some growth.
Yeah, but same quarter in Q4 last year, it would have been already at 95% or so.
93% because we lost some days on account of COVID also. Na?
Yeah, so from that point of view, currently also as in we are mostly flattish or probably
I agree with you. Either flattish or small growth will be there.
Okay, fair.
So definitely March we lost quite a big quantity that we may not lose.
Okay.
Because last 10 days almost 1/3 of production in March we lost last year.
Sure. Then my second question was again in continuation to what the previous participants were asking is more from a 3 to 5 year plan, and this is in two parts here. One is on the efficiency part and second is on the growth part. So on efficiency parameters, since we have already now made a significant move towards waste heat recoveries, are there any more such opportunities, be it either waste heat at existing plants or any other let's say areas where efficiency then can be enhanced from a near term?
See, we have good R&D. With our R&D, definitely we are trying our best to improve our whatever efficiency possible. So you know very well the Ramco Cement is the best benchmark for both power and fuel consumption, also for other costs. But we never sit on our laurels. Definitely we are trying our best to reduce the cost further. That is our aim all the times. As far as WHRS is concerned, I have already explained to you, the full WHRS is possible in Andhra Pradesh, which already we are commissioning. And here the WHRS capacity will not go up, but definitely in the fuel cost in thermal plant we can bring down. That efforts we are making. Already in one plant it is successful, another plant is under implementation.
I completely appreciate the efforts, and you being one of the lowest cost producers, I completely appreciate that. My question was, have we, in a way, hit a wall in terms of further efficiency and improvements, or there are still some areas,
Always it is possible.
Any specifics there? Would you like to disclose?
Again, power and fuel definitely is possible. We are looking at various opportunities and we are making some experiments. Always it is possible. We are making efforts. Definitely will be successful.
Okay. And
so that is why even with all the power, even though with the coal prices are going up, still our power and fuel cost is under constant control.
Right.
Also, we are trying to increase the blended ratio. With that also, we will reduce the cost.
Blending ratio, right. So what is the target there? Where are we on the blending ratio today and what is the target?
Around 88% is blended cement. We will increase further.
Okay. Second, then part of this again, medium to long-term view was on the growth part of it. So now that we are very close to completing this particular capex, how should we look at growth for the next leg? Will it be more regional diversification, or you are also open to, let's say, get into some sort of building product since you already have a very strong brand and a distribution network? Is there a plan of sorts to get into any other building material or other sort of a products from a growth perspective?
Definitely we go for already we have one dry mix plant. We are planning to go for 3 more dry mix plants. It means the wall putties, tile fixing, and all those areas also will be attacking.
Right, but is there a some sort of a milestone there that these products, allied products?
Another 9 months will be commissioning 3 plants.
3 plants, okay. Which will be what capacity then? Where should we be looking at from the capacity perspective?
Maybe each plant will definitely contribute more than around 100 crores.
For wall putty, you're saying?
No, not only wall putty. There are various. Already, our dry mix plant. We have what is called dry mortar, and we have wall putties. Then tile fixing. We have various. Almost we have 10-15 products out of that.
Right. So each plant will contribute 100 crores revenues or EBITDA. How are we?
Yeah. Revenue, no revenue, not EBITDA. Revenue.
No, I was just a little excited.
Not
Is there significant growth opportunity that you have identified as the next?
Beginning, that definitely will go for more such plants also. That will be value addition to the cement. Definitely, you know very well. Already we have gone for 12 types of cement that I mentioned to you many number of times. So that we will be increasing the number types of cement also for various applications. This dry mix plant also will help us to increase the range of products into our cement also.
Right. Absolutely. And my last question is, since we will be having significant capacity then coming up from Q2 onwards, are we then likely to see significant tilt of our business mix in towards non-trade part of the segment, since we will have volumes to be generated from the new plants? So can we just expect that 90% trade then at least for the couple of quarters then goes down more in favor of non-trade?
See, doing non-trade is not a sin. It's so long as, to be frank with you, I am doing non-trade 100% against bank guarantee, LC at same price of trade.
Okay.
So in fact, in non-trade also, see, there is a direct sale. There's no need to have the godown. There's no need to have stockist commission. There's no need to have the warehouses, handling and all these things. See, so long as we have good customer, that is why I am telling to you, since we have large number of product types of cement for different application, and we are able to get premium out of non-trade also.
Okay.
See, for example, there is a segment called hollow block. I have separate cement. There is a segment for ready mix. We have different types of cement like that. For different applications, we have different types of cement.
Understood.
And with good mixers, definitely they can reduce. We also educate them how they can reduce their cost, even though they are paying premium to our cement.
So are we concluding to say that the non-trade that we sell as of now fetches us the same contribution or EBITDA as what we get in the trade?
Some places we are getting more. Some places maybe maximum 100 rupees, 150 rupees per ton difference.
Okay, so not much difference. Interesting. Great, sir.
So we are getting more.
Understood. Great, sir. Thank you very much, and look forward to interact again. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bhumika from DAM Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Sir, I just wanted to check, with the commissioning of the grinding units in the eastern region, plus the rail siding that we have put up there, what kind of cost savings are we seeing for our eastern sales?
Yeah, definitely there will be a lot of cost saving. Apart from cost saving, it gives us a lot of flexibility in movement of cement. For example, without railway siding, it may not be possible for me to transport clinker from the Andhra plants to Orissa plant or to Bengal plants. And also for outbound. See, today, if there is a huge demand in Northeast, definitely, since we commissioned our railway siding in the West Bengal also, I can send any part of Northeast also from that plant. Otherwise, by road, it's not possible to reach even any part of Northeast. So it gives us a lot of marketing reach, and also it reduces inbound raw materials. Definitely, there is a huge cost saving, and also a lot of flexibility. So without that, we can't move the clinker what we want to those plants.
So any quantum on a per ton basis or on overall basis, what kind of cost savings we have already achieved? Or possibly?
No, the project is viable only with such railway siding. I put it other way. You might have seen our EBITDA. The EBITDA is still good because we have such flexibility in the plant.
Sure. And so you also spoke about that, last couple of years we've done a lot of capex towards modernization and other facilities on our existing plants in South as well. So out there again, are the savings in all these efficiencies already reflected in our current cost structure that we are seeing today?
That is why I am able to give the best EBITDA.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. And one last question was in terms of the clarity on the trade, on the premium sales that you said was 35% of sales. Just wanted to check what it was in 2Q, because our understanding it was about 12 to 15%. Would that be correct?
Yeah, you are right, ma'am. You're right, ma'am.
And we intend to take it up to 46%.
Yeah, around 40 to 50%. Yeah, 40 to 50%.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, thank you very much and wish you all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pritesh Sheth from Edelweiss Wealth. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Most of my questions are answered. But wanted just one clarification that why, despite our premium segment mix increasing from Q2 to Q3, despite that, we are seeing the 8% kind of realization decline versus similar kind of number we haven't seen from the competition. So any color on that would be very helpful.
Sorry, I'm not able to get your question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question was on your realization decline that you have reported for this quarter, 8% quarter on quarter.
Yeah.
And that despite being despite the premium mix improving quarter on quarter. So what led to that decline? Because we haven't seen similar kind of decline for the competition. Mostly peers are reporting 4 to 5% quarter on quarter decline.
See, because I told you in our core markets we had monsoon very heavily. So to the extent, for example, Tamil Nadu, I not sold as much I wanted.
Okay.
See, definitely the core market gives much more realization than non-core market. So definitely, because of the extended monsoon, also above normal monsoon, we are not able to sell as much as we wanted in the core market. So because in other thing, we not generated wind power. Second quarter there was a lot of wind power. The third quarter there's no wind there. And another thing, northern parts of the country we didn't have so much rain. See, in the southern part of the country we had monsoon normally November, December. Monsoon itself be normally 50% the normal monsoon. This year we had 150%. Also the monsoon extended up to January.
Right.
Followed by number of
So
holidays.
it was purely a regional mix kind of.
It will be fourth quarter we can see the difference.
Right. Okay. And my second question is, you were planning to rebrand your materials in East post the grinding unit you have commissioned, and that would have led to improvement in realization. So where are we on that? Would it take like 6 to 9 months from here on?
Yeah, 6 months. It will take around 3 to 6 months.
Right. And what sort of realization increase we can expect from there?
At least 500 to 600 rupees.
Okay. On a per ton basis. Yeah. Okay. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Yeah. Not overall. It is only the East despite the country.
Yeah, it's only East. Got it. So your profitability can improve in East by similar levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So thank you for answering.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Milind Raginwar from Centrum Broking. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity, sir. Just wanted to understand what would be our fuel mix currently?
Fuel mix is around 60-65% is petcoke, around 35% is the coal. So it all depends upon the prices and availability. Suppose theoretically I can go for 100% petcoke. There are days where I use almost 90% petcoke. Today the availability and normally we go by per calorie what is the value. Since the coal is cheaper than petcoke, we are going for it. Otherwise it will vary every month, every quarter. So it does not mean it will not be constant. It all depends upon the price and availability.
Can you just share the number for the corresponding quarter in FY20?
It is around 85%.
85% of petcoke.
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing is, sir, when I see at the raw material cost on a per ton basis, it softened quite a lot. So any specific reason there that we see it softening?
Sorry, I'm not able to get your question. Raw material cost?
Raw material cost on a per ton basis has come down. So any specific reason for that?
Yeah, blended ratio has gone up.
Okay. And thirdly, sir, on the on our debt side, you indicated that the debt number is at about 3,000 odd crores.
Yeah.
What would be the interest-free loans here?
It is only 200 crores. 200 odd crores. We are given the press report. We are given. Right.
When I look at the interest liability, it looks to be quite.
It is 234 crores. The gross debt is 3,106 crores, out of which the 234 crores is interest-free loans.
Okay. Okay. No, because sir, if I look at our interest outgo, that looks to be quite a number which is lower than what debt we have on the book. So I was just trying to.
Because the interest, part of interest is also capitalization, I told you.
Okay. Okay. And
yeah.
Yeah, that is it from my side. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraint, we will take that as a last question. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Amit Srivastava for closing comments.
We are also, just I want to tell you, we are also making a lot of efforts for preparing ESG report. In the past, many analysts, ESG reports. So already we appointed E&Y to prepare a report on that. In another 3 months' time, our report will also be ready because that is the request by many analysts. That also we have taken steps, and the report will be ready by April.
Mr. Srivastava?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for your valuable inputs. And that concludes this conference call for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for all the participants. Wish you all the best.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Batliwala and Karani Securities India Private Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.